you'd assume the smartest people in the room are also like automatically the wealthiest.
Oh, absolutely. That's the standard assumption, right?
Right. But the data shows something completely terrifying, actually. Your IQ dictates less than 5% of your financial success.
Less than 5%. It's wild.
Yeah. In fact, being a literal genius might actually be actively destroying your bank account.
It really is a staggering disconnect. I mean, when we look at the populations that frequently rank as the most financially fragile, we are looking at doctors, engineers, lawyers, finance professionals.
People we generally consider the peak of intelligence.
Exactly. And a massive share of these demographics, they're making well into the multiple six figures, yet they are completely living paycheck to paycheck. They're highly leveraged, and they're just drowning in this chronic financial anxiety.
So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out where that disconnect is actually happening. We have a huge stack of psychological research and economic data in front of us today, and we're going to explore why high intelligence is actually a massive liability when it comes to money.
Yeah, it's so counterintuitive, but it's so important for people to hear.
Right, we want to uncover how the exact same brain power that you use to, diagnose complex medical conditions or close massive corporate deals, how that brain power is being unconsciously weaponized against your own wealth.
Yes, through incredibly sophisticated self-deception. The danger here is that it's an inside job.
An inside job, I like that.
I mean, smart people generally don't fall for obvious get-rich-quick scams, They fall for something far more insidious, mainly because they are the ones building the trap themselves.
Okay, let's unpack this because I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. If I have the analytical capacity to execute like a multi-billion-dollar corporate merger, how can I possibly fail at basic arithmetic like spend less than you make?
Right, it seems impossible.
Where is the disconnect happening? Shouldn't a high analytical capacity make someone inherently better at budgeting? Like, if you give a literal genius a massive raise at work, shouldn't they logically just take that excess capital and invest it?
Well, you're assuming that financial success is a knowledge problem, like it's a calculus test or something.
And it isn't.
No, it isn't at all. It is a behavioral discipline problem. We really have to look at what behavioral psychologists call this, the difference between IQ, which is your general intelligence, and RQ.
RQ. Wait, what is RQ?
Your rationality quotient.
Rationality quotient.
Okay.
Meaning, how logically you actually behave in the real world when your emotions are involved.
Exactly that. Because a high IQ without a high RQ, it doesn't actually stop you from making a terrible, emotionally driven financial decision.
Interesting. So what does it do?
It just makes you highly skilled at a psychological phenomenon called motivated reasoning.
Motivated reasoning. I've read about this. This is when the brain essentially acts as like a defense attorney for a crime it already committed, right?
Yes, perfect analogy. The mechanism is just fascinating. What happens neurologically is the emotional center of your brain decides what it wants first.
Right.
Let's say it's an $80,000 luxury vehicle. The decision is made entirely on emotion and impulse. You just want it.
You see it, you want it.
Right. But a highly intelligent person, they can't just admit they bought a car because it's shiny and fast. That directly threatens their self-image as this hyper-rational actor.
Oh man, so they have to justify it.
Exactly. So that massive high horsepower prefrontal cortex works backward. It constructs a flawless, incredibly logical sounding justification for the purchase.
So the smart brain says, I need the advanced safety features for the family. And if you factor in the depreciation curve, the tax write-offs, and the client-facing nature of my business, I'm actually losing money if I don't finance this exact car.
Spot on. You've heard it before. A less intelligent person might just shrug and say, hey, I bought it because I wanted it. But the highly intelligent person, they build a multi-tab spreadsheet to prove why buying an $80,000 liability is actually a strategic, calculated investment.
That is so wild.
And this neurological blind spot leads directly into a concept called hedonic adaptation.
Hedonic adaptation, which basically means your baseline for what feels normal just keeps escalating.
Exactly.
Like every time you get a raise, it doesn't go toward wealth building at all. It just gets instantly absorbed by premium versions of everyday things.
Yes. You lease a nicer car, you move to a more exclusive zip code.
You stop flying coach and convince yourself you absolutely need premium economy to be productive on the flight, right?
Exactly. And the really insidious part of this motivated reasoning is how the smart brain justifies that adaptation.
Yeah, so?
It tells you, listen, I work 80 hours a week, I earned this, I am performing at an elite level, therefore I require an elite environment to recover.
Oh, wow. I feel like I've literally said that out loud.
We all have. Because every single individual upgrade feels mathematically and emotionally justified in the exact moment you do it. So the high-earning brain never actually registers the cumulative devastation that's happening to their net worth.
So the gross income just climbs and climbs, but the net worth just stays completely flat.
Or even goes negative.
Right, or negative.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the data on physicians in our sources, they are consistently in the top 5% of earners globally. Yet a huge percentage of them carry staggering high-interest consumer debt.
It's alarming.
They have minimal retirement savings relative to their cash flow, and they report severe stress. So the bottom line for you listening to this right now is that financial confidence and general intelligence are two completely distinct mental muscles.
They are, which leaves these incredibly smart, highly educated individuals perfectly primed to step right into a very specific behavioral trap. It's a self-perpetuating cycle.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because the high achiever isn't just, blowing money chaotically at a casino. They're making what the research calls identity purchases.
Identity purchases.
Right.
For someone who has spent a decade in higher education, purchases are rarely just functional anymore. They tie so much of their self-worth to external signals of competence.
Yeah.
So what they buy becomes the primary way they signal their identity to the world.
And behavioral economists view this conspicuous consumption as an internal narrative rather than just showing off to neighbors.
Oh, so it's not even about other people.
Well, the internal monologue is, I am a successful partner at this surgical practice, therefore I am the kind of person who lives in this specific gated community and wears this specific mechanical watch.
Ah, I see.
So stripping away those purchases doesn't feel like adjusting a line item in a budget.
Yeah.
To them, it feels like an attack on their actual identity, which immediately triggers the next phase of the trap, the golden handcuffs. By matching your spending to your professional identity, you essentially lock yourself into this astronomical income requirement.
Exactly. You have to feed the beast.
Right. You become completely dependent on maintaining that peak income level just to service the debt on your own identity.
And the stress originates from that exact lack of optionality. You see this constantly with high earners who are absolutely miserable in industries they have totally outgrown.
Or industries that are actively burning them out.
Yes. They want to leave so badly, but they can't take a risk on a startup. They can't pivot to a more fulfilling career because the monthly obligations, the jumbo mortgage, the 2 luxury car leases, the private school tuition.
It leaves absolutely zero margin for error.
Zero.
It fundamentally redefines what a trap even is.
Yeah.
I mean, we usually associate being trapped with poverty. But here, the trap is the illusion of wealth built entirely on obligation.
It's a house of cards.
Yeah, held together by a bi-weekly direct deposit. But wait, let me challenge this for a second. We're talking about highly analytical people here. Lawyers, doctors, finance professionals.
Right.
These are people trained to look at data and sunk costs objectively in their day jobs. You're telling me a hedge fund manager who cuts their losses on a bad trade every single morning can't do the exact same thing with a luxury car lease or a bloated mortgage?
It's so counterintuitive, I know.
Like, why not just sell the massive house, downsize the cars, and literally buy back your freedom?
Because applying objective analysis to a stock chart doesn't trigger cognitive dissonance.
Oh.
Applying it to your own life does. Downsizing requires confronting the reality that the lifestyle you built was unsustainable.
Which hurts.
Oh, it hurts deeply. For someone whose entire core self-image is built on being the smart one in the room, admitting a massive long-term financial mistake is incredibly painful. The ego perceives it as a direct threat.
So rather than face the emotional discomfort of just admitting they were wrong, they just throw more money at the illusion to keep it alive.
That is exactly what happens. They rationalize staying the course. They convince themselves that, next year's bonus will fix everything.
Right.
And this overconfidence in their own intelligence bleeds directly into how they invest, which is honestly the final nail in the coffin. This is where smart people completely sabotage their wealth accumulation.
Because they excel in their highly complex, specialized professions, They just assume they can beat the global financial markets too.
Yes.
They think, well, I analyze complex medical data all day. Of course I can time the crypto market or pick winning tech stocks.
And so they actively avoid the strategies that actually work, like simple, boring, broad market index funds, because those tools feel fundamentally beneath their intelligence.
Oh man, it's like telling a Michelin star chef they just need to microwave a potato.
Exactly. That is a perfect way to put it.
They feel insulted by the simplicity of it. They want a financial strategy that matches the complexity of their big brain.
Ironically, in wealth building, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. But complexity is what feeds the ego of the highly intelligent person.
Right.
And that demand for complexity is exactly what ends up costing them a fortune in management fees, terrible market timing, and massive tax implications.
So we have this brutal psychological loop. You spend to prove your competence, you get handcuffed to a high-stress job to pay for it, you refuse to downsize because it would shatter your ego.
Yep.
And then you try to invest your way out of it using overly complex, risky strategies that just fail.
It's a disaster.
It is. Now, it would be really easy to just sit here and blame this entirely on individual arrogance, but looking at our sources, this isn't just a personal failing.
No, not at all.
The game is actively rigged against high earners from the outside too.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is an incredibly effective systemic setup.
I mean, just look at our massive educational blind spot. Our entire formal education system, especially at the elite collegiate and graduate levels, heavily rewards analytical problem solving.
It rewards credentialing, memorization, complex output.
But it teaches absolutely zero about emotional regulation around money.
Nothing.
We are churning out generations of brilliant, highly credentialed professionals who have never been given a single tool for tolerating the discomfort of simply not spending money.
And they graduate with that massive blind spot straight into an economic design that is just waiting to exploit it. Modern consumer economies are essentially engineered using the exact same psychological mechanisms as casino slot machines.
Wait, so you're saying tech and retail companies are essentially using slot machine mechanics on people buying luxury goods?
Oh, 100%. It's called intermittent reinforcement, and it leverages variable ratio reward systems.
Okay, how does that work in practice?
Well, when a reward is unpredictable, like you don't know exactly when the algorithmic flash sale is going to hit, or when a highly coveted limited edition item will drop, your brain produces a massive spike of dopamine just anticipating the notification.
Oh,
It makes you neurologically primed to buy the second you unlock your phone. These algorithms are explicitly optimized to trigger fast, confident decision makers.
so they're hunting smart people.
Yes. And the more disposable income you have, the harder these machine learning models target you based on your data profile. You aren't just fighting your own ego, you are fighting billion-dollar supercomputers designed to bypass your prefrontal cortex and separate you from your paycheck.
And even if you manage to put your phone down, right? Like you ignore the algorithms, you still have to deal with the physical social environment.
Which brings us to the next systemic force in the research: social comparison engineering.
This one is huge.
It used to be that you just kept up with the Joneses next door. Like if your neighbor bought a new sedan, you felt pressure to upgrade your sedan, but now the neighborhood is global.
Right. Sociologists call this reference group inflation. Because of social media and globalized professional networks, you are no longer comparing your lifestyle to the people in your physical neighborhood.
You're comparing it to the internet. You are comparing yourself to a highly curated algorithmic highlight reel of the top 1% globally. For high achievers whose self-worth is inherently tied to competitive performance and ranking, this creates chronic low-grade financial anxiety.
You just constantly feel like you are falling behind,
Because the group you compare yourself to just keeps expanding and escalating.
which creates what the research calls the prestige economy.
Yes.
Every elite professional circle has these unspoken spending norms. If you are a junior partner at a law firm, there is invisible pressure to drive a certain tier of car or vacation in certain exclusive locations.
Just to signal to the senior partners and clients that you belong in that tax bracket.
Right, you are trying to match the spending patterns of your peers, creating this collective hallucination where everyone is quietly broke, trying to impress everyone else who is also quietly broke.
It's exhausting just thinking about it, which really raises an important question. If the system is rigged against you, your social circle is pressuring you, and your own brain is actively working to rationalize bad decisions.
How on earth do you escape?
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you? If we want to find the exit to this maze, we have to look at the behavioral contrast between the people who are financially stuck and the people who are financially strategic.
And the most glaring contrast in our sources happens the moment these two groups experience a windfall.
Yeah. When a financially stuck person gets a bonus or a raise, their lifestyle expands immediately. It's instant gratification disguised as a reward.
Right.
But when a strategic wealth builder gets a raise, their savings rate increases first, and the lifestyle upgrade happens much later, if at all.
And the reason they can execute that isn't because they possess some superhuman level of willpower.
It's not.
No. The ultimate psychological distinction is that strategic wealth builders automate their discipline. They remove their smart brain from the decision loop entirely.
Oh, I love that. They accept that their brain is a brilliant rationalization machine, so they purposefully just don't give it any raw material to work with.
Exactly. The strategic person knows that if they leave the excess money in their checking account, they will eventually rationalize a highly logical reason to spend it.
They know they can't trust themselves.
They know they cannot trust their future selves in a moment of ego depletion or stress. So they set up automatic transfers. They route the money into investment accounts before they even wake up on payday.
That's brilliant.
They design a financial system that operates completely independent of their willpower or their daily emotional state.
So the financially stuck person spends to signal status and avoid the discomfort of restraint. The wealth builder spends deliberately, and they derive their self-worth not from visible markers like a luxury car or a title, but from optionality.
Optionality is true wealth.
From the quiet freedom of knowing they could walk away from their high-stress job tomorrow without missing a beat. So how do we practically apply this? Let's rapidly translate this psychology into actionable mechanics you can use to break the trap right now.
Let's do it.
The first major pivot is exactly what we just discussed: automating the boring stuff.
Yes. Set up your financial architecture so that the day your income hits, a predetermined percentage is instantly transferred to savings and investments.
Don't even let yourself see it.
Do not let it sit in your primary checking account where your highly intelligent prefrontal cortex can justify buying something with it. Out of sight, out of mind, out of the rationalization loop.
Awesome. The second strategy is to actively interrupt the psychological loop in the moment. When you are about to pull the trigger on a significant purchase, force yourself to say out loud, like literally speak the words into the room, whether it's a functional purchase or an identity purchase.
That is so powerful.
Are you buying the watch to tell time, or are you buying it to tell the boardroom you were successful? Just naming the true intention out loud breaks the spell of motivated reasoning.
It really does. Next, you have to embrace the strategy of choosing boring over clever. Accept the simplicity of low-cost, diversified index funds. Stop trying to outsmart the global financial market.
Leave the ego at the door.
You have to surrender the complex, ego-driven investment strategies that just drain your wealth through exorbitant fees and bad timing. Put your ego into your career and keep it entirely out of your portfolio.
I love that. You also need to build what psychologists call a discomfort tolerance practice. If you see something non-essential that you want, force a strict 30-day delay before buying it.
30 days.
You aren't telling yourself no forever. You are just saying not right now. The goal isn't to deprive yourself and live like a monk.
Right, it's about the reflex.
Yeah, the goal is to break that automatic want it, justify it, buy it neurological reflex. You have to actively train your brain to tolerate the mild emotional discomfort of waiting.
And finally, you have to prepare for the fork in the road.
The fork in the road.
Make a hard commitment today that anytime you get a raise, a bonus, or a new client in the future, you will direct at least 50% of that new capital straight into your automated wealth building system before you even consider upgrading your lifestyle.
50%.
That is the only mathematical way to outpace hedonic adaptation.
That is how you prevent lifestyle inflation from swallowing your entire career output. So here's the ultimate takeaway to wrap all of this up. Your intelligence is what builds your income. But only a system will build your wealth.
Only a system.
You have to stop trusting your in-the-moment judgment and build a mechanical structure that makes the right decisions automatic.
And I want to leave everyone listening with a final lingering thought to mull over today.
Yeah, let's hear it.
If your financial choices were suddenly stripped of all status, if absolutely no one could see what you drove, where you lived, or what you wore, how much of your current lifestyle would you actually keep?
That is an incredibly heavy question to carry with you. Because if you want to stop firing missiles at your own base, you have to figure out who you were actually buying all this stuff for. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.